was ninth grade French class in a school in suburban Pennsylvania. I sat in a narrow room, which is 2 columns of desks. To my left sat a boy with a thick Russian accent, and in front of me sat a Jewish boy. I didn't have anything in common with these 2 boys, except for one thing. As typical teenagers, we all loved music. As the class ended, we chatted about music, and the 2 boys started to argue. The boy to my left with the Russian accent insisted, "Drummers aren't real musicians." The boy in front of me turned to argue, "Yes, they are." He was the only drummer in the class. The boy next to me continued, "Nah, drummers just bang on things. Anyone can do that. That's why they're just in the background. They aren't even famous." I came to the drummer's defense. "Yes, they are real musicians," I insisted. "The drummer keeps the rhythm for the whole band. They're like the heartbeat of the music, and they don't get proper credit." The drummer boy smiled. The bell rang, ending our debate, and we went our separate ways. I wasn't a musician, but I could still appreciate a good rhythm. So what does a drummer have to do with inclusion in business? Just like a song, every company has a rhythm, and someone is the drummer in that company keeping the rhythm. Many times, those drummers are administrative professionals. What do I mean when I say administrative professional? We aren't talking about the decision makers, we're talking about admin, the assistants, and the support staff. The reason it's important when we talk about this is because there's often a gap between admins and leadership. So I want to tell you that story again, but this time, imagine you're an adult sitting in a conference room, and instead of debating drummers, we're debating admin. As you sit at the large wooden table, waiting for your meeting to begin, you're chatting with your colleagues. The man to your left insists, "Admins aren't real professionals." The woman in front of you turns to argue, "Yes, they are. She's the only admin in the meeting." The man next to you continues, "Nah, admins just push paper. Anyone can do that. That's why they're just in the back office. They aren't that important." You come to the admin's defense. "Yes, they are real professionals," you chime in. "The admin keeps the rhythm for the company. They're like the heartbeat of the organization, and they don't get proper credit." The admin smiles. The meeting starts, ending your debate. So let me ask you, in that meeting, would you have come to the admin's defense? The story about the drummers was true, but I made up the story about the meeting to make a point. The point is, even if you're not an admin, you can still appreciate a good rhythm. Just like drummers, admins are in the background. They aren't the face of the company, but also like drummers, they're talented and diverse and necessary. The admins keep everything organized. They keep the processes going behind the scenes. They keep the steady rhythm of the company. But like the boy with the Russian accent and the man in the meeting both said, there's a negative perception when it comes to both drummers and admins. In the words of famous drummer Dave Grohl, he wrote in his book, The Storyteller, "Drums, talk about an end-of-the-trough, entry-level mailroom position." The problem is both admins and drummers are in the background and don't get proper credit. I once had the unique opportunity to give input into my new title in a leadership team in a construction company. Who doesn't want to pick their own title? As I sat in the plush white chairs in the executive office, I discussed the exciting opportunity with the owner of the company. Director, senior manager. He suggested vice president of administration. I liked the ring of vice president, but I wasn't so sure about the rest. I valued admin, but I didn't want that word tacked onto my title. I had advanced beyond admin. I'd broken through the glass ceiling. Because in construction, admins are typically women and they're typically undervalued. I didn't want to be in the background. I wanted to be in the room where it happens. I wanted a voice. But that's when I realized a deeper change was needed to dismantle the stigma around administration. We would have a hard time accepting that word into leadership until we redefine its value. Let's take a closer look at the industry of construction. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics paints a very bland picture. 87% of employees are white and 89% are men. And I don't have anything against white men. I married one, I'm raising 2. But for an industry there's no diversity. And without diversity, inclusion is impossible. The small percentage left who are women and minorities make up a large portion of the entry-level and administrative positions. As an administrative assistant, the barrier to entry is low. You aren't required to have advanced degrees, fancy certifications, or many years' experience. Consequently, we find more diversity in these entry-level positions. But the ceiling is also low. According to Glassdoor, you could expect to top out at around $54,000 a year. This widens the gap between admin and leadership, even for experienced professionals. We can close that gap by redefining the rhythm of inclusion and valuing the perspective of our administrative professionals. Inclusion isn't just about race and gender. It's about perspective. Gallup's Global Indicator poll on employee engagement found that only 3 in 10 employees feel that their opinion counts at work. 3 in 10. This is a huge opportunity to invite the voices of our administrative professionals to the table. When leadership includes the admin's perspective, they get a peek behind the scenes of what's really happening. As the heartbeat of the organization, the admins often touch every area of the business. From the admin side, it's about feeling valued and having a sense of belonging. Isn't that what inclusion's all about? I had a boss who had a tremendous impact on my career. During my first week as an admin, he said to me, "You can change anything that makes sense for what you need to do." With the simple phrase, "You can change anything," I felt empowered, not just to keep the rhythm, but to take the microphone. And as I stand here today with the microphone, there's something I want you to know. It's that not all rock stars are lead singers. Some rock stars are in the background, keeping the rhythm. And when we redefine the rhythm of inclusion and we invite these voices to the table, we see new and diverse faces emerge as not just admin, but trusted, respected business professionals. So whether you're an admin, you got an admin on your team, or you know someone working in admin, you can help redefine this rhythm by inviting their voice. Find your rock star, give them the microphone, and invite the drummers to take center stage. Thank you.